Hey, so good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and coming in person to this month's Discovery Cafe. Got a special guest this month. John Vo is actually an employee here at the Chamber. We just brought him on earlier this year. He does some awesome work with his videography and photography skills. So if you ever see any videography from the Chamber, it's coming from him. So we asked him to do a quick Discovery Cafe on some video creation and content basics for business, just to help our businesses out. If you're interested in starting your own, handling your own video content and creating your own video content for your business. So John, thanks so much for agreeing to jump in this morning and do this month's Discovery Cafe. So I'm going to turn it over to John. If you'll go ahead and unmute yourself, John, I'll take my webcam off and we'll get going.
Great, we good to go, huh? All right, so thanks everybody for tuning in, for the people watching later as well. So today's topic is video creation for business. Of course, I got to introduce myself. Will kind of did it for me a little bit, but just a general idea of some of the things I've done over the years that have kind of given me some repertoire. So I have about 1 or 2 years of videography experience professionally. I did freelance video for a while, designing media and also filming. I've been involved in online commercials and I've shot for events, as well as been a social media manager for some companies. So I wanted to play this video that just kind of showcases some of the video work that I've done, and as an example of what you could possibly do in your business. Just because your equipment isn't exactly the same doesn't mean you can't achieve similar results. So are they able to see this here, Will? All right. All right, and that's just like a little example of some of the work that I've been able to do over the years. I'm catching up on it. Obviously, it's not up to date, so I definitely have to update that with some of the stuff that I've done for the Chamber. So some of the main points we're going to go over is why I think video is pretty important for business, just some facts that I've gathered, some common problems that I see people run into, as well as the tools that are available to you, both free and paid for, and also the creation process going through it, and I'll kind of get hands-on on the editing process. So with the importance of video, this was actually taken from a study on the importance of video in business, probably about 2 or 3 years ago. So all of these aren't exactly up to date, but it kind of gives you an idea of what we're working with as far as video consumption is actually at an all-time high when they took this study. So you can imagine how high it is nowadays with the pandemic going on, and just the fact that people are staying in more, being on their phones more. So video consumption is definitely higher than it's ever been. At the time, when they surveyed the businesses, about 86% of the businesses were utilizing video. So it kind of gives you an idea that nowadays you should definitely be in that 86%. If not, then you're not really utilizing some of the benefits that are available to you as a business. And most importantly, videos, just a very easy way to convey information. People would rather sit through maybe a 30 or 40-second video clip than they would maybe reading like 2 or 3 paragraphs of text. And also in the study, they found that customers were 80% more likely to end up buying the product or service if they saw a video on it first. And that kind of makes a lot of sense, because when you watch a video and you see a demonstration and it's explained to you, you're more likely to go through and buy that product. I especially have been guilty of doing that when I'm on social media, like on Instagram or Facebook, and I keep getting hit with the same ad over and over again, and it's a well-produced video. I'm almost definitely more likely to want to buy that product. So some common problems that I've really seen and that I've seen people talk about, number one is time. People feel like they don't have enough time in their business to really deal with video or video production or learning how to. And I really think that sometimes it can just be a knowledge thing. I have a video that I'm going to be showing a little bit later, and it took probably less than an hour of time. So if you can't find less than an hour of time in your day, maybe like figure out how you can execute this, then priority is also another thing as well. Some people may not feel like video is something they have the priority for in their business. There's other things they have to take care of first and foremost. With this, it may be going hand in hand with time. Just having more knowledge and basic understanding of how to create a video may give you more time and may push video up the priority list for you, as well as maybe handing off that priority to someone else to take care of. Kind of like what I've been doing with the chamber. They've kind of handed off the priority of doing the marketing, the advertising over to me. Poor execution is another thing with local businesses, especially. You guys have all probably seen those goofy car commercials, dorky car commercials that, you know, they don't seem well executed, and it may fly here in Alabama, but it gives off a poor reputation for your business. You want to look professional when you make your videos, so being able to execute well on the video is very important. And then people feel like there's a lack of tools out there for them, so I'm just going to be kind of going over some of the tools that you can use in your business. So the free tools that are available to you, obviously I have Canva here. It's actually not anything you have to download or install. You can just sign up for it online. And you can edit both picture and video on Canva, and they have a lot of great templates that are available that you can just plug in video or picture, and it's going to give a very professional look to it just because of the way that they have their layouts. And of course, a lot of the things, even the videos that I've shown you, were shot on DSLRs, but you can edit on your phone, you can shoot with your phone, and you can achieve something that looks familiar or close to professional on just your phone. So some apps like InShot are available on mobile. I personally use Splice, which is very good. There's a video editor on Windows, which is very basic, but we've had success with it here. Will Mackey uses video editor for Windows, so it definitely gets the job done for your basic videos. iMovie as well for Mac, and I've also put DaVinci Resolve here. It's a free application, but it's a little more advanced, but just some of the examples of some free tools. And we also have paid tools. Some of the ones that are industry standards, Premiere Pro especially is being used very widely. It does cost a monthly subscription. You can get the full suite of Adobe products for $52.99 a month. And that gives you everything like Premiere Pro, After Effects, Photoshop, Illustrator. You're gonna get a lot of things that would be useful to your business with this as well. Of course, if you just wanted to get Premiere Pro by itself, it's a $20.99 subscription. I would still recommend going to the full suite if you're gonna do anything like that. And then I also have listed Final Cut, which is designed mostly just for Mac. It's not really available on any other platforms, but it's about the equivalent to Premiere Pro. Costs money, and Avid as well is used a lot in the sports industry. So we're going to get into creating a basic video for business. I'm a big advocate that you don't need really expensive equipment to do video. You can get away with even no equipment if you really know what you're doing. So we'll kind of go into that a little bit, because technique over anything is going to elevate your video. And a big thing that I see with a lot of businesses is that they kind of neglect sound, and sound equipment is great if you can get it. But more importantly, just like finding a nice quiet environment if you're trying to film something that's really sound centric, like someone talking, or you're explaining a product, you want to have good sound in your video. Don't neglect that just because it's a video. And we're going to be reviewing this video from a ribbon cutting at Back 40 that I did for the chamber here. And I just want everyone to kind of pay attention to the visuals in it, just like the type of shots that I got, the captions that are placed over the video, as well as you'll see a logo that's kind of branded on top of it. So just keep that all in mind when we're looking at it, and then we're going to break it down a little bit here. So I'm going to full screen this here so you can get a better look at it.
Back 40 Beer Company unveiled their newest renovations at this week's ribbon cutting event. Back 40 Beer Company unveiled their newest renovations at this week's ribbon cutting event. Gadsden's Back 40 Beer Company lit a fire under the brewing industry in Alabama over 10 years ago and has been going strong ever since. Located on 200 North 6th Street in Gadsden, Back 40 serves as a brewing and distribution hub for their handcrafted beers, as well as being a great pub and eatery for nighttime outings. They offer a large variety of craft beers and great food. Their newly built patio offers outdoor seating, and their dedicated staff will make sure you're taken care of at Gadsden's Back 40 Beer Company.
All right, so obviously, I guess you guys didn't have sound with that, but it had dialogue and it had music over it as well. So those are all components of the video that we'll kind of look at here. So what I'm going to be showing you guys is just working in Premiere, kind of the layout of Premiere. But it's not going to just apply to Premiere. This can kind of apply to most video editors if you have a good understanding of what you're working with and what it looks like. Then you can kind of apply it to most things that you're working in. They all have kind of a similar looking look to them. But this is basically a nonlinear editor is what Premiere is. And I've kind of highlighted these areas to look at. So in the red rectangle area, you have your video preview area that kind of shows you what you're working on as you progress through the video, what you're going to be looking at, like the play and reverse and forward button. In the light blue rectangle, we have our timeline, and that's where you're going to be putting your different video clips and working with them. To the left of that, in the orange rectangle, we have your tools. So a lot of video editing applications are going to have similar tools. They may not have all of Premiere's tools, but they're going to have super basic ones, like you're going to have a selection tool, so you can click and drag the video around and move it. You're going to have a cutting tool that lets you split the video in half where you want, a trimming tool that lets you lengthen or shorten clips as you want them, and you'll have a text tool, which will let you add text to the video on top of it. And to the left of that, in the green rectangle, you have just a basic Explorer window. So that's where the videos that you're going to be working on, that's where they will sit until you drag them over into the timeline. So we're going to take a closer look at the timeline in this next slide here. It looks like a mess right now, really. It's a bunch of colored rectangles. You really don't know what you're looking at. And I'm going to be playing a video that hopefully kind of clears that up a little bit for everyone. But you have what are different, basically, layers or tracks that are these, you'll see the blue arrow, the white arrow, and the pink arrow. Those are all video tracks. And you kind of layer them on top of each other like they're stacking on top of each other. And then on the bottom layer, you have the blue arrow, green arrow, yellow arrow, those show the audio that's located in the video. So it looks kind of complicated, might be easier once we watch a video on it. So this is a video of me working in Premiere, and I'll be talking over this as we watch it. And here I am looking in the Explorer window that we talked about. These are all the video clips that I've already put in here that I want to work on. And you can see how it kind of works. You drag in the video clips from your files to work with. And I'm going to be looking for a clip here to put into our timeline. So as you can see, I dragged it over to the right where we're going to start working on it in the timeline. And you can see it's represented by a video and an audio. It's two separate things that are synced together. And I'm going to scroll through it here. So as you can see, it's 3 different clips that are on the timeline, and I'm going to drag in a 4th clip here. You can see they're each a rectangle of each clip's representation on the timeline as you scroll through it. I put in the Chambers outro logo there at the very end. And now I'm going to be looking to overlay that logo that you saw in the back 40 videos. So I'm finding that in my workflow. And so this is just the logo on its own. It's got no sound attached to it. So I'm going to be deleting the sound off of it real quick. And so now with the logo being overlaid on top of the video, you want it on top of the video, like it's stacked on top like text. So if you can imagine the bottom track of the video as like a blank piece of paper and the logo being like a stamp that you stamp right on top of the video. And that's present throughout the video. Here I am putting music in the most bottom layer of the audio track. And the music's too long, so I'm going to use the cutting tool to cut it and then delete the end of the music off of it. So now you it's not the full back 40 video, but it gives you an understanding of how it's kind of working, how it looks on a timeline. Maybe it makes a little bit more sense now. And I believe now I'm going to go in and just add in a basic effect that fades in from black. And most video editors are going to have something like that where you can add an effect that makes it fade in from black at the beginning. So as you can see in the video, it's coming in from black on this clip of the beer cans. And it'll transition from that clip to the next clip that I dragged onto the timeline. As the playhead goes through, you can kind of see it changing, and then the outro. And so that's just a basic, super short version of what I did. And that longer video on back 40 really took no time whatsoever. So you can see how quick the process can be if you have a good understanding of what it looks like. I have some easy tips for people that can really fix up your videos. First off, let's stop shooting in vertical, guys. I mean, most of the movies you watch, most of the TV shows you watch, they're all horizontal. We're used to shooting vertical because our phones are naturally, you hold them that way and you want to take video that way. Unless you're going for a specific vertical look or it's going on a certain platform that requires vertical, there's no need to do it. You should shoot horizontally all the time. And it's going to look a lot more professional if you do it that way. Video quality is another big thing. This is something you can change in your video settings on your phone, or if you go into the settings, you may be able to find the camera app and change the settings there. 1080p is the standard for video quality these days. Most of everything is going to support 1080p. 4K is great if you can. Most stuff doesn't support 4K right now, or a very handful of things do. So 1080p is a good middle ground to keep your video on. Framing is a big thing. As you can see in the video we watched, I kept the subject in frame. I kept them in the middle. I wasn't giving people too much headroom, like the sky way above them and their head all the way down, and I wasn't squishing their head into the frame and just getting like the top of their eyes. Like, you want to have good centered framing. Lighting, if you can help it, is great for video. You want to have good lighting if you can help it. If you're shooting in a dark environment, maybe consider trying to turn on some more lights or going outside wherever you can. And also dead video time is another thing. I see a lot in video clips, especially with local businesses at the beginning. They're like, all right, 3, 2, 1, go. And they keep that in the video for some reason. But just chopping off that beginning of you directing the person on video is going to make your video look a whole lot more professional than just having someone be like, okay, I'm ready, you go. So just some super simple things that can definitely polish your video up. And then some video ideas for business. What can you do in your business that involves video? I think shooting something like a commercial or an infomercial for your video that's made by yourself instead of paying someone else to do it is great. It kind of has a down-to-earthness to it when they know it's being done by you. You can kind of explain and talk about what you do in your business. People also like behind-the-scenes videos of what's going on in your business. It almost gives it a more organic kind of personal touch to your business if they can see what's going on, like in the restaurant or in the kitchen, or you're at an auto body shop and you're showing your workers working. Just simple stuff like that can really elevate your social media game and make people more personable and like your business more. And as an example of some behind the scenes videos that I've seen that have been really successful is this TikTok that I saw here. And this is literally just someone working in a paint store, and they are mixing paint in their store, and they're just kind of showing the process that they're doing. It has 8.3 million likes. 8.3 million people liked it enough. And that's just likes. We don't even know how many views this thing probably has, like 100 million views of literally just someone opening a can of paint. And then I guess people are interested in what color the paint might end up looking like because he starts adding color to it. And then I guess people are just curious what exactly the color is going to end up being when he mixes it. I think people just try to guess what it is, but you can imagine how you can apply this to your business. Just simple, mundane things in your business may be awesome stuff for social media that people might want to watch, might make you go viral, might get you more business, because there's no telling how many people ended up going and buying paint or going to see this guy's store because they saw this video. And I've looked at the rest of his videos, and this is all he does. All he does is mix paint on TikTok. So just something to keep in mind in your business. And also the videos can be educational, you can be teaching people, and like I said, an emphasis on casual can also be a really awesome thing. When you're going to get the video, you want to kind of have an outline of the video in mind. Like when I was going to Back 40 to get the video there, I kind of had in mind that I wanted to get a shot of the beer, I wanted to get a shot of the people there, I wanted to get a shot of the ribbon cutting itself. Just keeping all these things in mind in my head, and then you want to decide what you need for that video's purpose. So in the case of Back 40, I didn't really need anything else but my camera, but in a different circumstance where I was talking to someone and interviewing them, maybe I'd want to bring a tripod or something with me and set it up that way so I'm not holding the camera the whole time. And then you want to figure out which platform your video best goes on. Like I said, different platforms have different audiences that people will want to see things. Like on TikTok, maybe people want to see just random paint mixing videos. You got to keep that in mind when you're making your videos and which platforms you're posting them to. Instagram tends to be a younger audience. They like shorter videos. Facebook likes longer videos. It's an older audience. So all these things are great to keep in mind. But I actually think that's all I have for now. I'm going to leave you guys with a picture of my dog. I took this picture myself. He's a great boy. His name's Teddy. And that's it. Will's not in his seat yet, but he's going to be signing off on the webinar. Thanks everyone for coming and watching this segment. I know it's a little bit long-winded, but I appreciate everyone that came and watched. So thank you.
Okay, there I am. So does anyone have any questions or anything before we sign off and stop the recording? Okay, Trent says thank you.
Appreciate it.
Darlene Jones asked, how much was Premiere? You said it was 20.
It was $20.99 if you just wanted the subscription. It's going to be a monthly subscription for Premiere if you just want Premiere by itself. If you want all the Adobe suites, I think it's like $52.99 for all of them, but it's a super good bargain because you get literally anything that you would need for a business with that. Yeah, we have the full suite here at the Chamber. I use it every single day.
Yeah, so we use the full suite for everything from photos to the videos to publications. We do everything. So makes sense for us to have it, and we have John on staff to do all that. But
yeah.
If you're just in the video though, it's been Premiere Pro would be great though. I'll need to have John teach me how to use some so I know I'm doing with it. But if we don't have more questions, I'll stop the recording real quick.